Well, joining me now, Tennessee Congressman Scott DesJarlais, and he right now wants to introduce a bill to actually arm people at these military recruitment centers. Have you had time to introduce that bill, Representative, today, or will you do so later on?
Actually, Gretchen, we just introduced it about 20 minutes ago.
All right. Okay. So tell me exactly what is in the bill.
Okay. Well, in '92, they passed a Department of Defense directive that banned military personnel from carrying weapons, and that created the problem which we saw unfold in Chattanooga. In fact, over the past 19 years, there's been 21 attacks on military installations such as Fort Hood, the Navy Yard, and Chattanooga. So what our bill will do is will be to repeal that directive and allow a military to arm themselves at facilities such as the one in Chattanooga and other installations across the country.
Okay, I find it very interesting because we have just confirmed here at Fox with the Pentagon that the head of the U.S. Northern Command has now issued a directive to authorize recruiters not to be able to carry weapons at these centers, but he wants them to implement new security measures like closing the blinds at the office. What?
I don't think that goes near far enough. The perception is now that these lone wolves or other would-be attackers know that these soft targets are not able to defend themselves, and that's got to change. It's unfair to put our men and women in uniform who are trained to handle these kind of weapons in a position where they are basically sitting ducks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what closing the blinds is going to do. I mean, we covered it right here on this show, that the guy drove up in his car. He never even got out. He just shot right through. But if somebody had been armed on the inside, they may have been able to shoot back. I want to call your attention as well to Senator Moran is also introducing legislation to address gun-free zones. Because at that recruiting center, when we were covering it, you could see the sign that said this is a gun-free zone. Have you talked at all to Senator Moran about what he's trying to introduce as well?
No, I've not talked to him, but it sounds like certainly a step in the right direction. And you're right. This facility, I was there on Friday, and it was just literally the whole storefront, which was about 4, was just riddled with bullet holes. And it's just ridiculous that people inside have no means to defend themselves, and they're simply at the mercy of the shooter.
And we know that nobody was killed, obviously, at that first location. But 5 other people died at the second location where they really, truly were standing ducks, right? Because they were outside and not armed at all. Would your bill change any of that?
It would. It would allow these people to carry weapons. The Department of Defense would be tasked with issuing a new order within 30 days to beef up the security and allow military personnel to be armed, and it would reverse the directive that was put in place in '92 and into March of '93.
All right. Any idea, Congressman, about the kind of support that you have, at least in the House, for your bill?
Yeah, it's just been amazing. Really, since Friday, the phones have been ringing off the hook. We are actually, when we introduced the bill today, I joined my colleague from Memphis, Tennessee, Steve Cohen, a Democrat, who is co-issuing the bill, and we have the entire state delegation in Tennessee on board, and we're getting calls from other states to join in. So I would simply urge people all across the country to call your congressman, tell them to get on this bill, and let's put our men and women in a position where they can protect themselves and others.
Wow. Very interesting that we might have some bipartisan movement on this in the face of a major tragedy. Congressman, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.